But I'd like to start with Emilio, because Emilio is Emilio I've known since he was 9 or 10 years old. He's one of my students, and he's in the last year really turned into a real young professional as opposed to a student who plays guitar really well. And have you noticed the transformation in your playing, and what do you think's what's happened in that last year to 18 months that sort of really brought you on to make you the musician you are now?
Yeah, so I can definitely see it myself. I've just finished my university degree at Falmouth, where I studied music. So even just like these last months, I'm beginning to see, complete different in terms of, professionalisation of my music and playing concerts, and to have my full slot at Hellys is a really good opportunity for me.
And do you think? Did you think all those years ago when I met Emilio, he was about this high, and he was standing outside the church in Gurmo down the road from here, and he said to his mum, "I want to have lessons with that bloke." And she said, "All right then." That's sort of how it started. Did you think about that as a being something that would end up being your job, or was that just something that happened, do you think?
No, not ever really at that young age. Music was definitely something I always enjoyed listening to, and I enjoyed playing classical guitar. But I never could have foreseen a future or a career.
Okay, and finally, Emilio, when you play your lunchtime concert tomorrow, what can we expect? Why should these good people spend their money coming to see you play tomorrow? I mean, not that there's very much, but it's £5. I mean, come on.
A lot of what I play is not designed to be played for the guitar. So, like earlier you said, I have an arrangement of Bohemian Rhapsody that I've arranged for guitar myself. When I first wrote it out, it came to about 19 pages long. There's quite a few like that, but yeah, I do a whole range of different pop and rock songs.
What, are you doing your Star Wars set tomorrow?
Yeah, so I do a medley of my favourite themes from the Star Wars saga. And yeah, I do a couple of my own original pieces as well. And I also try and mix it up with, I play through an effects unit, so I can use different effects to enhance my guitar.
Can you tell us a little bit about the looping that you do before we move on?
Yeah. So one of the pedals I use is a loop station. It's very similarly to what Ed Sheeran uses, if you're familiar with his music.
Isn't he the guy who's meant to have stolen all his stuff off other people?
Something like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I use it to build up my pieces, so I can basically, it's almost like a one-man band kind of thing, where I can play in the guitar part, then I can record another guitar part, and then use another different pedals. I can basically come up with sounds that sound like a drum kit, or a bass guitar, or an electric guitar, and stuff like that.
So it builds up in layers, so you can have the effect of playing 8 or 10 instruments.
Oh yeah.
But you're doing it's all live.
There's
nobody sitting in that little black box of yours
no
doing it for you. No cheating. Okay, well, thank you very much, Emilio.
Thank you very much.
Give Emilio, please, a warm round of applause. I'm going to go to you, Carsten.
Yes.
Do you remember when we first met? You were wearing this most amazing purple tracksuit I've ever seen.
Don't mention it.
I'm sorry, I did. And so, but that was in Poland. We shared a house in Poland together. Do you remember, in Silesia?
Yes.
And that was also, Andrea Dieci is coming at the end of the week. I don't know if you knew Andrea is coming back,
Yeah.
but we all shared a house together. That's how we all first met, back in 2000, I think, something, 99 or something.
Many years ago.
When we were young. And in those days, we were quite young and wild, but you're much more studious, but much more like Andrea was then. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We went out partying all night, and he went home to practice. We said, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
But now you sort of play, you're award-winning guitarist, all these awards for your Bach recordings worldwide.
Yes.
And some of the greatest Bach that's ever been played on guitar has been played by this man. And you tell us about this instrument, because this is sort of what you're going to be performing on later tonight.
Yeah, it's quite. It's a guitar, but it's a mixture between a guitar and a lute. So
I'm going to disagree with you, but okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's tuned in G. So, and then you add the extra bass strings, and you have a lot of job, always stopping the basses. So with this guitar, I have deeper notes. That's it. So I can play, for instance, the Bach repertoire. I can play originally. I don't have to change anything. I can play it almost exactly like Bach wrote it for the lute. While if you play on 6-string, you have to make some changes.
Of course, you got the octave problem with a standard guitar, big octave issues with Bach. But with this, it does work really well. I mean, I've obviously heard it many times as well. And what do you think about the arguments about that Bach didn't write for the lute? Because I'll tell you what I think in a minute, but I'd love to know what you think. We've never talked about this.
Okay. Well, he didn't write for the lute, but he had the lute in mind, the sound of the lute. So he wrote for a piano, that keyboard that is that was sounding like a lute. It's called a clavichord. Is it the right name in English?
Not quite. No, they call it the Lautenberg.
Yeah, Lautenberg. Yeah, Lautenberg. Yeah. Yeah.
Which doesn't really exist now.
No,
we don't. But not quite a clavichord.
Yeah.
But I read that one of his sons wrote that his father always wrote music just sitting down at the table. Bach wrote scores out, and then he'd go and try them out on a keyboard, which was his instrument of choice. So if he wanted to write something for a lute, that he designed an instrument, the Lautenberg, that would sound like a lute, but he could play it like a keyboard. So if I was going to write a piano piece, because the lute and guitars are my instruments, I'd design a guitar or lute that sounded like a piano. It's the same idea.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah. So can you tell us when did you start playing Bach?
So I've been playing Bach all my life. He's my favorite composer, and I always study his music. And you can go on doing that for the rest of your life as well. So I love Johann Sebastian Bach.
Do you have a particular favorite work of his? And if so, were you playing it tonight?
Yeah. No.
Is that
I have to like it.
You don't play it?
I like all of his works. I don't have any favorites. They are all very, very high quality.
Yeah. So finally, we talked some time ago that maybe we should do some duo music together. Should we do that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
You heard him. That's a contract. Okay. Thank you, Carsten.
I will.
Thank you very much. Big round of applause for Carsten Grimmer. Amy, you're looking very nervous because I'm going to ask you questions.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know what you are going to ask me.
I know, and that's a big problem for everybody. But I've known you for several years, but we only actually met yesterday.
Yes.
And you met my cats, and 6 cats, and we had a nice evening and so on. And
Nice evening.
Yeah.
I was trying to recognize which one is Dimitri and which one is Sophie, since all of them, they are black.
Yeah, all black cats, except for Winston. I said it's a form of cat racism, but she wasn't taking that. I was listening to you practice early on, and the one thing that really struck me was the intensity of your playing. I think it's you have when you play, you look very laid back. If I watch you, when I watched you in the radio earlier on playing, and you looked really cool and chilled out, but the intensity came through your fingers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering how that happens, because usually really laid back people, my brother's a really laid back flamenco guitarist, and he sort of almost falls off his chair, he's so laid back, and it all just sounds really laid back. And if the intense people, they do these incredible faces, and they sort of groan and grunt and all this, but you don't, you look cool, but you play intense. How?
I'm not going to explain anything. Just how it is. Okay.
Well, there's a conversation stopper. Thanks very much.
I'm trying to be calm.
Yeah,
Life is beautiful.
That's good. It's very positive. But tell us about your career, because this is the first time in the UK, but you've played all over the world. You've even played in Nepal, places where nobody has really gone to do concerts.
Yeah. I've been in places that when I went, I might be the first or the second guitarist that played there, but now they have a very wonderful concert stage for the guitars, like India or China, places like that. But anyway, I've been in UK a lot of times, but not with an official invitation. I've been here, I've played, I have a lot of friends here. I feel lucky to have these friends guitarists mostly. But it is my first official performance, and I'm very happy for that.
I'm glad.
Thanks, Ben.
Well, we're really looking forward to hearing you play. I mean, I've listened to you on CD. I've watched your career over the last years. You know, and for us, it's a real dream. When I remember the day that when I messaged you and you said you'd come, I just punched. I went, yes, like this. I mean, you know, I shouldn't tell her this because she might get very big-headed. But I was so pleased. For us, it was a really big deal that you come to Cornwall, and you were keen to come to Cornwall. And tell them what you said about the reason you said yes. Do you remember? You saying you looked on the Facebook.
Although this was between us, but
Yeah.
anyway, I
We
said
don't have to tell them.
one reason is that I feel that I'm not 18 or 20 years old anymore, so maybe it's better for me to have close trips, maybe, and not once more in South America or Asia or Africa. So it's better to go closer. One thing, but okay. What I liked mostly it was the picture that the audience from this festival has in Facebook, because I liked the faces. Everybody was laughing. It was a very warm atmosphere. So I said yes. I want to present my music in this audience.
And this is what we like at Hellys, isn't it? We're all happy people, and we have happy musicians, and we like to keep them that way. That's why we give them all free strings and stuff, just to keep them sweet.
I hope these happy musicians, it's not something simple. It's what it is. Happy musicians,
Happy
not
musicians.
without mind.
No, not mindless, just happy.
Okay.
Eva Fanfast, thank you very much as well. Please give her a warm round of applause.